So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the interview today, where we're gonna talk about an amazing topic. But before that, Kathleen, if you can please introduce yourself and share with us what can you help people with, that would be awesome. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much, Harry. It's great to be here with you and with all your viewers. I live in the United States. I live in the Midwest of the US, and I am a spiritual
Topic, but
life
before
coach.
that, yes, go ahead.
I am a spiritual life coach, and I'm also an EFT practitioner. So I help people to create inner peace, to help them to get over the overwhelm and the frustration that a lot of them are feeling today in this world, and to help them to develop that inner peace.
And I have to congratulate you because you look fantastic. And I think that this topic, inner peace, is something that is bothering a lot in society. I think that it is when we are not in peace with ourselves, it creates something out there that you cannot perform well in any area of your lives, and we don't know what's going on. We are unaware. I think that there is something that we always that I always say, that there are things that we know, there are things that we don't know, and there are things that we don't know that we don't know. So, uh, in your opinion, being you an authority in this topic, and also very happy that we are part of this book together, Global Conscious Entrepreneur, creating by this amazing Mary Diamond from the start, from the secret that put us all together. We're so grateful for her. Thank you so much, Marie, for putting us together. So, Kathleen, in your opinion, in your view, what would be the 5 steps to create inner peace that every single human being can apply? So, what would be the step number one?
Step number one, Harry, is to know what your purpose in life is. So, as you were just saying, so many people have no idea why they are here. And they don't know, as you were saying, to look within. So they're looking at their family, they're looking at their culture, they're looking at, their friends as to what they should do. But if they know their purpose, we're all born with a certain divine purpose and certain gifts to match. And by going through and knowing that, everything just falls into place. And I'm not saying there won't be any struggles, any challenges. There will be, because you're going to be aligned with your intuition through doing that. And you're going to be aligned with the universe. You can overcome any of the challenges that come along just by looking within.
Excellent. And what would be finding your purpose, right? This is a very, very difficult. A lot of people ask me, Harry, what can I do? I'm lost. I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. So, in this area of finding your purpose, how do you know when you truly align, when you truly find your purpose? And what do you know when you think that everything is fine, but you're not living the life that you're supposed to be?
I can give you an example in my own life. I'm an engineer by background. I have a
Me
civil.
too. I'm a
Oh, are
chemical.
you?
Yeah, I'm a chemical engineer. Yeah.
I'm a civil engineer. In another state, I was a professional engineer. I was licensed. I was not happy. I was making a good income. My husband is a retired civil engineer. We, had a great income through that, but that was not my calling. It caused me a lot of stress. I would go to work and I would swim either before work or after work because I couldn't stand it. I would swim a mile or 2 miles every day. I
Wow.
knew that something was off. I was feeling very tired. I was feeling very sick. And little by little, I just got involved in meditation. And through meditating, I realized that my calling was actually to be a teacher. That was my purpose. and
Wow.
to, I went through different methods. I used the Silva method. That was the first thing I tried was transcendental meditation. I got that as a gift from my mother for a graduation present. And through doing that and just evolving and finally getting to Marie Diamond, who's my mentor, I was able to determine through meditations that I've done with her what my purpose is and what my gifts are.
Wow, that's amazing. Just I think we have similar path because I also study engineer, right? And I studied degree in chemical engineer, and I never did an experiment after that. After I finished the university, right? I
Mhm.
basically study for. I like computers. I like mathematics, so I want to be software developer, but at the end of the day, my marks was not higher, so I had to choose something, and I choose chemical engineering. So I studied 5 years in the university, but at the end of the day, after I finished the university, never I find my first job in what I was uh, liking, which is more technology and software development. But again, one even I opened the businesses. We opened a property business. We turned over £5 million. It was great. But my calling, it was I didn't want to even go to the properties. The people say, "How are your business doing well?" And because it was not my passion, it was not my calling. So eventually we closed the business, and now we're doing this Polish speaking and business growth strategy, and I'm loving it. I think this is
Mm-hmm.
my calling. I love to help business to grow. I love to do talks, to be a teacher. My parents are teachers, so I like to teach also, and that's why we do this conference all over the world in different topics like business growth, sales, marketing, how to grow your startups, and so on. So I'm 100% aligned with you that if you are at home now, yeah, and you feeling that something is not working, even that you're getting paid a lot of money, yeah, money it won't get you out of that. Trust me, because we I experience it. You lose even the drive for the business, regardless that the money is coming. Um, because, but eventually, if you look around, you have to work on yourself, right? I think that the solution, Kathleen, is to work on yourself until
Yes,
you find that path, right?
that's right.
It's no point to go to work. It's no point to do something. Life is too short. That is not what you meant to be. That is not aligned with how you want to live your life, with how you want to. For me, for example, I love what I do. There is the level of fulfillment that gave you is better than any money that that you can get, right? The
That's
fulfillment
right.
that gave to you, and the fulfillment that you give to others by delivering something that you're passionate. So I
That's right.
100% agree with you. And now, what would be the second step? What would be the second step for you to, after, let's say, that you found this purpose? Yeah, what to find the inner peace?
So you've got a purpose. You know what your purpose is. You know what your gifts are. You can't sit on them. If you sit on them, you will probably get sick, or at least you will become very unhappy. So you need to set an intention so that you can
Wow.
go through and be of service. Be of service in the world to fulfill your purpose and use those gifts. So that's the second thing. And as you said, it's working on yourself. So you have to go within. And for me, it was meditation. For some people, aren't able to sit down, it might be going outside in nature, but there has to be something. It could be tapping, something that's going to bring you into a present situation where you're going to be able to realize, you know, to go through and to set an intention to use to fulfill your purpose using those gifts. And it brings you so much peace and happiness. You become so passionate, as you said.
Okay, and then can you expand a little bit in setting an intention? What it really means? It means that it doesn't matter that even if I find my purpose and I love what I do, setting an intention, is it more related with taking action, or we do something about it, or it has more, it's more related to for you to prepare your mindset and knowing that that you have to create something or do something with that, if that makes sense.
For intention, at least for the way that I work my practice, it's actually to do that inner work, as you were saying. So
The work in yourself, I get it.
you realize, through meditation, what you may have to work on. You realize what, through visualization and affirmations, what you really want to. I mean, I went from designing highways
Wow.
to, into doing water resources reclamation, to realizing that I was here to teach people about spirituality. So,
Wow.
I mean, they're two completely different things, right?
Well, look at me also. I'm in engineering and now I'm teaching about business growth. Nothing to do.
So you do that work on yourself, and the intention is more of a broad type of a thing, that this is the direction that I'm going to be going in. The details will come in later. But for now, just the intention, it's setting that and really getting clear on what you were meant to do, what you were meant to bring. For you, it was the business with helping speakers to become leaders. For me, it's helping people to realize their purpose and to develop that inner peace through
Yeah,
doing
I
that.
think this is really important because find your purpose is fine, but if you don't put this intention in, you might push it in the wrong direction. That makes sense, right?
Yep.
And this happened to me several times. I go phew, and then oh my god, come back, it didn't work. Then phew. So I think that now, more knowing more by experience, it's better to set up this intention and to meditate and to find out and to work in yourself to find out what do you really want,
Yeah.
right? What do
Yeah.
you really
Sure.
want? What are you really gonna shoot for? Because as you found your purpose, you're passionate about it, but there are different paths that you can take in order to make life this purpose. And if you take the wrong one, it's okay, but then you need to come back and start all over again. That's happened to me so many times, right?
When I left the field of engineering, I actually became a naturopath.
Wow.
So I was helping people a little, it came a little bit, I was, coming closer and closer to what I
Closer
really
and closer,
wanted to
right?
do. But, people used to say you're going from highways to bodies.
Wow.
So, I did the same thing. And then I realized people really needed to figure out why they were getting ill.
Mm-hmm.
They would come, I had a practice out of the home. They would come with their big, shopping bags of all their supplements. They had no idea why they were taking those things. And then it dawned on me that no, I have to help them to get to the root problem of why they're getting ill.
Yeah. I mean, if you see, this is it's a big market size. A project approached to me shortly, and I realized because I had to do some research with my team, which is a huge market at the moment for non-alternative medicine, meaning something that's not relating with pills, right? In a way that you heal yourself. And it's a huge growing market at the moment. It's going to be huge by 2030. And I think because people are starting to realize um, that the solution is not only in the medicine. I mean, let's face it, you take a medicine, you solve one problem, you create another one. I go to my house, to the house of my dad in US, and you can see South medicines everywhere, right? So the whole point is how can we work on ourselves, and if there are more holistic solution that prevent us to get sick. I always say, the in terms of the insurance, the health insurance, yeah, I think that should be opposite. Yeah, we should pay when we are good, right? So then, and then when we are sick, should be free. So then the whole system will be 100% making sure that we are okay because they're getting paid for it, right? But now it's actually the opposite, and this that changed the whole dynamic. Like, oh, when you pay more when you're sick, wow. Well, so then it could be more convenient to be sick then, right? Anyway, so that's for another interview, yeah, where we can talk a lot about this. But then we're looking forward for the third step. The third step's how we find this inner peace.
Well, when you're doing something new for the first time, as you've done, as I've done a couple of times, you've done it a couple of times as well, you start to get scared. Fear starts to creep in, limiting beliefs, blockages come in. Why? Because the ego wants us to stay where we are, in the status quo. It doesn't want us to change. The ego is there to help protect us. So we have to dissolve these fears that come in. For months, if not years, that's what kept me from moving ahead and doing what I needed to do, was fear.
Wow.
And we just sit there and plan and plan and plan, but not take any action. So by going through EFT is a self-help tool, emotional freedom techniques, or sometimes called tapping. And by just tapping on a few of the torso and the facial points, you can go through and release that fear. When we have fear, it causes the energy in our body to just stay stagnant. So just by going through and tapping, you can just release that fear. Meditation is another tool that you can use to go through and just release that fear so that you can start moving. Just take a small step. And then once you take that, we'll get into the action and the goals in a little bit. But just, take that. And every time you do something new, that fear is going to come up. Even
Yeah.
the most successful people I know say every time they take, on a new thing, the fear comes up. So they just want to go through and release it. The simplest thing would be to take a deep breath. You might find yourself in a situation where you can't tap. You might be in a business meeting just before the camera. What am I going to do? Just take a few deep breaths. And that helps you to calm yourself, to get over that fear, to get over the blockage so that you can move on.
I remember that there is one exercise that I do in my workshops that people love, and I I I put them in pairs, A and B, and said, "This is you, and then your colleague next to you is the fear. So hold by the hand and walk with the fear." I think that the fear never goes, right. Especially we dealing with Pauline speaking is the biggest fear that human being can have. Here they do surveys in London. People prefer to die than to speak in public. Yeah, so that's how terrified the people are. And but at the end of the day, fear never goes away. It's all about dealing with it. It's all about walking with that fear, right?
That's right.
And but if you don't take this initial step, it could be devastating for your life, could be devastating for your health, could be devastating for anything you're doing, because it changes your state. Is from fear, then it escalate to depression, it can escalate to illness, it can escalate um, to a lot of things. And then sometimes this fear is even so embedded behind our unconscious mind, right? Like, for example, I did a research about why people are so terrified about public speaking, why the fear is there. And I find out that the whole thing started when we are kids,
Mm-hmm.
that we have 3 to 5 years, that our parents, which is the people that we love the most, are telling us all the time, don't talk to strangers. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want you to talk to strangers. So, and then if you go out and you're a little kid or a little boy, and then you're speaking with a stranger, you will see that your dad or your mom will come and say, how many times I told you don't talk to strangers, right?
Yeah. Right.
So this is embedded in our
In the
mind since we are
subconscious.
very
Yeah.
very little, and it's reinforced and reinforced and reinforced. So then now we are adults, and then we go to work and we open our own business, and now in order for us to function in the society, we do have to speak with the strangers, especially if you're selling, right? And now the whole fear start to appear that, and you don't even know what's going on, and it's so hidden in your unconscious mind that you don't, there's no way that you can find out that that have a source, and you have to meditate or use any tool to go back and back and back and back and back, and like you said, release that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes takes a lot of work because it depends on the personal experience that every individual has. But is fear is a very challenging issue that I think to everyone that's listening, what we can share is that if you have any fear in anything, just deal with it, right?
You
Excellent.
know, a lot of the older coaches, especially from 30, 40, 50 years ago, used to say, get into action. Just act. That never worked for me.
It's
When
a
you
little
were,
bit more complex than that. I
yeah,
agree 100% with you.
yeah, you have to. I mean, I was told as a child, I was very outspoken, and I was told by my father to shut up, that I had a big mouth for a little girl. So that took me,
Wow. Of
that took
course.
me some, yeah, experience to get some time to get over. I had a friend who was in class, she was in elementary school, and she didn't realize that her blouse was open. She
Wow.
had to give a talk in front of in the class, and everybody started laughing at her, and she couldn't figure out why until she went and she sat down, and then her friend pointed to her. So it was terrifying for her to do any type of public speaking.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like you said,
Type of experience.
it stays in the subconscious until you learn how to release it.
Yeah, I think my partner Lily has a horrible experience when she was a kid. It was, I think the classroom was, it was like maybe 2,000 people, and she was like a lead again 4 or 5 years, and she's supposed to sing, and she forgot
Oh,
she got terrified. She forgot the lyrics. She forgot her name. She goes frozen like that. And I think that after that, they told her, "You stupid! How come you didn't sing?" And so imagine that builds up on her big time, and it has taken a lot of work to. Now she's fine, and she speaks all over the world. But she had to work a lot. I had to work a lot on herself in order to make that go away, because it was some people have traumatic, right?
yeah.
Situations. Okay, very good. So we're getting, so after we release that fear, whatever it is, yeah. So what would be the fourth step that everybody can use to find that inner peace?
So the fourth step is actually to get into action. But as you said, not just any action. It has to be action that's going to be aligned with your purpose. And when you do that, then it's much simpler to go through and, follow through. And that fear might creep in again. That's fine. You've got tools to go through and to release that fear so that you can move ahead. Like you said, probably the fear is not going to be totally gone, but it will be gone enough to a point where you can get into gear and start acting. So this is where our engineering background comes in.
Wow.
You take that goal, you set a goal, and it's helpful to do in a meditation to be sure that it's in alignment with your purpose. And you reverse engineer it. So you've got the goal, you've had to take these steps. Maybe you don't even know what the steps are, but you can model yourself after someone, who's successful in your field, and just go through and model. And you'll know what those steps are. And then you have to schedule them. Whatever gets written down gets done. That's what I say. So you
Mm-hmm.
write them down into your calendar.
100%.
And it depends on what the goal is. If you're if you're an entrepreneur and you're doing a day-to-day business, then maybe you want to take one big step that might have lots of little steps, or you might take 3 steps or 6 steps. I know Bob Proctor, the late Bob Proctor, used to say to take 6 steps every day, and to work on them. If you don't complete 3, 4, and 5, then you go through and just continue them on the next day, but you continually move ahead. And it has to be action. Like we both had the experience of going and just not taking the right path. Make sure, and you can do that through meditation or through a coach, that you're taking the right path, something that's in line with your purpose.
Well, that's fantastic. I think that, and this you shared something really powerful about goal setting, and which is something that I agree 100%, right? Whatever goal we have is we need to stand from the back. Yeah.
Mhm.
What is the outcome that we want? And we have to actually visualize that goal, see us already there, and then you back in reverse engineer or how you gonna get there, right? And yes, how divided, I think, in small spaces. I think we got that from engineering also, that when we have a big problem,
Mm-hmm.
We separated in small problems, right? So now you don't have a big problem to solve. Now you have several small problems to solve, and then you go through these problems, right? And I find out also, and then you solve them. I find out also that us, because we have engineering background, we are very good entrepreneurs. And the point of that is someone told me that is because we spent 5 years in university solving problems. They are virtual, mathematics, physics, chemistry, but they are actually virtual problems, but there are problems. So after 5 years, our brain is already trained that have certain ability to solve problems. And business is about solving problems, right?
That's
So
so true.
that's why the engineering background has been, at least for me, has helped me a lot in my entrepreneur career, because I have faced a lot of different problems in so many different industries, and I think that that does help us a lot. And but again, with goal setting, again, you're gonna have you see at the end what's the outcome, then you separate it by small pieces, and then you solve the problems, right? That
Yeah.
these small pieces that bring, and that will be the gatekeeper to move on to the next piece. But I think it's easy because a lot of people, right, they say I want to do this, but they don't have clarity what they want, and then you start to walk into a road, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you actually achieve the goal, it was not exactly what you really wanted. That's happened to me. So it's better to start backwards. First, find out exactly what you want to achieve, and after you have that clarity exactly, then you design the rest. Yeah,
And isn't it amazing when you have that clarity and
yeah,
you've worked toward the goal and you go through and you manifest it and you're there,
yeah. That's
you
gone
know?
through experience, because for me, to me, happened so many times like that. Right, I start something, and sometimes I even finish it, and after I finish it, did I really wanted that? Yeah, like I opened a restaurant once here in London. I lost, I think, over 200,000 pounds, and
Wow.
I have this idea that I want a restaurant, but I was not clear what I wanted. But yes, no. Then I went for it. Oh my god, it was a disaster, right? After I opened the restaurant, I have everything. The restaurant was running everything. I'm sitting and said, did I really wanted that?
Yeah.
And
That clarity, as you said,
it
it's
was a
very
lack of
important.
clarity, yeah, and then have an impact, right? It was an amazing experience. I don't regret it, right? I learned a lot about business because of this experience. But now, after so many years of experience, what I do have clarity is what I don't want. So I know exactly what I don't want, and this is a very good way, similar to you. Like after
Mhm.
those years in the engineer, I mean, it was your work, and for sure, you grow a lot as a person because of that. But you have clarity now what you don't want and what do you really want for your life, and this is a process that faster we can get in life. Uh, in for that, the better, but also enjoying the journey, right?
And you know, you make a good point where no matter where you've been, you can carry that experience. There's a reason that you went through it.
Exactly.
And you're going through and you're able to carry it into, like you said, you had the business experience with the restaurant, and you're able to, you know, go through and devise your plans and have clarity through your engineering background. Yeah, I had a boss who we'd go to him and we'd say, okay, here it is. He'd go do a design. That's not what I want. Well, what do you want? I don't know. I don't know what I want, but it's not that.
Exactly.
So much time was wasted in trying to figure out what the man wanted instead of just him, you know, his getting clear on what he wanted and passing that on to us so we could do the work.
Hmm. Yeah. So sometimes if find that, and it's gonna take time, because some people that they are lost, and I think that even me, when I came here to London, I was also lost. I came here and enjoyed the city. I want to start English, but I didn't have any. clue what I want to actually do, or just find the first job in the pub that I find, and I started like a machine to work and to work a lot because I had to pay rent, and I get caught into that circle since I was lucky enough that I decided to start this property business, and that changed my whole perception about life, income, way of living, and things like that. And I don't know. Was I think out of luck. I read this book from Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert
Hmm.
Kiyosaki. Yeah, that was one of the main keys in my career. So that's fantastic. Okay, and then what would be the last step? The last step that we all can do.
The fifth thing is to celebrate your wins. And we were just talking about this.
Celebrate. Yeah.
Be, look at be grateful for what you have today. You live in the UK. They say that we live today, 5 times better than royalty lived hundreds of years ago.
Wow.
With all the conveniences that we have today, it probably would have blown Queen Victoria's mind to, see what we're doing right now.
Wow.
With the internet. So,
That's fantastic.
appreciate that. Appreciate what you have. We have so much and we don't even appreciate that. And also appreciate the accomplishments you've had in the past. Appreciate the property business. I have so much awe for immigrants who go to another country. Lots of times you don't speak the language. Like you said, you have to take a menial job and you have to work very hard. That took a lot of courage. It took a lot of strength to go through and do that. For me, elementary school, high school, I have, the engineering degree. I'm married and I have, an adult son. And, these are things. I had a music background. I was good in sports. So I tell my clients to just list everything that they've accomplished in the past and to look at it every day before they start working, before they start their day. And that will help to raise their energy, along with being grateful for what's in their life today. And something that I've learned from Marie Diamond is to also be grateful for what's coming.
Wow.
You
Uh-huh.
know,
Very
we
powerful.
we've created that in the energetic world. We don't see it in 3D, not right now, but it's in it's in the energetic world, and we have to be grateful so that we can create space for it to come in. And something that a lot of people don't know is, about 100 years ago, the law of attraction, which everybody knows today, was called the law of love.
Oh, wow. Really?
And yeah, and love and gratitude are about the same level of frequency. So when you are grateful for what you've done in the past, your accomplishments, for what you have today, and for what you're bringing in, that raises your love, your frequency to such a level that you can easily bring that in, whatever you're looking to create. And it just gives you, that sense of peace. Sometimes goals don't come for a long time. You're not able to manifest them. But just knowing that they're there in the energetic world, and all you have to do is just keep on working and have faith, not look at the outside, continue to look at the inside for what your purpose is and what your gifts are and what you're meant to do. It just creates such inner peace to go through and do that. So,
Wow. That's amazing. Amazing tips. Thank you so much. And I would like to ask you one last question, which is what it means to you to be a global conscious entrepreneur. So why I always sharing with when Marie Diamond shared this project with us, right? I always share with her that more than a title of the book and more than a brand, the Global Conscious Entrepreneur is a movement, right? That is something that we are aligned to raise the level of consciousness in the world in terms like, okay, we can do good in the business, but look after the planet, look after the mental health of your team, of your employee, look at the under sustainable ways to do things. And I think that with that title, global conscious entrepreneurs, this you only can attract amazing people like you. So what is your view, and what is why you identify yourself as a global conscious entrepreneur?
I'm so glad that Marie started this whole movement. I mean, it's just, such a wonderful thing. And if you look at those three words, global, conscious, entrepreneur, we all know what entrepreneurs are, people who undertake business. I think the consciousness comes in with knowing your purpose and knowing your gifts and bringing them into the world. If you look at what we're doing right now, we're interacting as global conscious entrepreneurs. You know what your purpose is, you know what your gifts are, I know as well, and we're collaborating right here to help all of your viewers. And I think that that's what it's all about. And you have a globally, a global group of people who are going to be watching it, and we're helping them that way. So I think it all starts with knowing your purpose and knowing your gifts and being willing to step out into the world, as you said, to make the world a better place, to help other people, to be of service in the world.
And on that note, to make the world a better place and to be a service for other people, we are going to conclude our interview. Thank you so much, Kathleen, for this amazing knowledge that you share with us. And I always share with people that if we can transform the life of even one person that is looking, watching at this video, this broadcast out there in anywhere in the world, this time will be worth it for us. Just one more thing, Kathleen. If someone is struggling and they need help finding their inner peace, they are stuck, they are lost, they don't know, how can they can contact you? How can they find you? How they can approach you? So maybe you can help them and give them support in this little step that they have to do until they finally find the purpose and find the power.
Sure. Thank you for asking, Harry. They can reach me at my website, KathleenRafter.com. I love to meet with people for a discovery session. It's a free discovery session, and I help them to determine what their purpose is, what their gifts are, and then help them to set a simple action plan so they can move on their pathway to inner peace. So thank you so much for inviting me. This has been wonderful. I want to thank you and all your viewers.
Pleasure. And now, for all of you that are watching, remember, if you're struggling, if you are stuck, if you are unhappy, if you going day by day and you lost your motivation, please visit Kathleen's website and start your journey to work on yourself, because it's a wonderful life waiting for you just around the corner. And all what it takes is to have courage to go and visit this website, have the free consultation, and start to open yourself and work on yourself for what life has in store for you. So thank you so much, Kathleen, one more time for the interview, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Harry. Have a great day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Oh, that was amazing. Thank you so much for the interview. That was fantastic.
Thank you, Harry.